Well, do I have some announcements for you guys? I hope for sure that huh, I, I hope to sure that this video works. Sorry, I ate just a little while ago, but I have a lot of announcements. So I'm going to try to go from earliest to latest announcements. So where did we leave off? We left off with me getting accepted into Mensa, and I got eventually just before college started, I got my card and and I've been to a couple. So after I got my card, I joined some of the special interest groups, and I kind of Zoom called some of the Mensons on the weekend, and a lot of them are old. Basically, all of them are in their 50s or older. So I was the only young Menson there. But basically, what they were talking about was old, like, shows and stuff, which I have no idea about. Right? So it was really hard to connect with people that were kind of the same, similar, mind, like young people, basically. There were no young people. So it was hard to communicate and relate to anybody in those voice calls. And that's something that I've seen is like, I think 70% of Mensa is Gen X or baby boomers. But at least with Gen X, you can kind of relate to them because they had like the arcade games and shit back in their day. You know what I mean? They're like, you could kind of relate to them. They watched cartoons as well, and they had, arcade games, and you can kind of relate to them in a way. You can. So there's that. So yeah, but those are probably the two least important things that are going on. The next thing that I want to talk about is the start of my college. So I started college. I have Calculus 3, Business Data Analytics, uh, American History 1865 to present. And then I have, okay, let me read. I got Speech, History, Calculus 3, Business Data Analytics. And I have, what was the other one? The other one is Computer Science 2. So those are my 5 classes. By far, the hardest one is Computer Science 2. That class is very hard. I have to work with very complex mathematical sequences and series from Calc 2 and 3. So it's a very complicated class. Man, I really do love this game. I mean, just look around. This game can be whatever you want. If you want to be like exploring around and adventurous and not get into a lot of trouble, you can do that. And if you want to, go blow up a whole military base, you can also go do that. I mean, this game is perfect for its time. So, anyways, um, basically, yeah, those are the classes that I'm taking. If I had to choose the boringest class, it would be Business Data Analytics. That class is mega boring. And you know what I also hate is we have something called iClicker in college, where it will only, like, if you can total, like, for larger classes, it's the only way to take attendance, and you could totally be there and just forget to do the iClicker. You know what I'm saying? Which sucks, and they all rely on it. They all say, well, if you get more than 3 absences, then, you get points taken off. And the thing is like, what if it doesn't work properly? Yes, I could come to you and say, hey, it doesn't work, but most likely you're not going to count that in towards the end of the year unless you make a note and you keep track of those notes throughout the year. You're basically going to just say, oh, at the end of the year, he had 5 absences, even though 3 of the times the iClicker wouldn't work. So that's what I hate about Business Data Analytics and History, which are my 2 largest lectures, is that they have iClicker, which sucks. It sucks. So yeah, I missed a day of class so far because my alarm didn't go off or I overslept it. So far it's going well 3 weeks in. I think it's 3 weeks in. Yeah, it's 3 weeks in. So next thing that I want to talk about is my problems. Wow, what a surprise. Talk about my problems. So I signed up for therapy with the same, um, my psychotherapist. I actually signed up with therapy with her, for therapy with her. And I've been doing sessions, which have been pretty good. Um, it kind of helps. Helps for a short while, but I really need to vent to my friends a lot. And that really puts strain on them, and I feel bad about it. Um, but yeah, my as far as my mental health has been going, it's been a roller coaster. And I don't mean that in a bipolar disorder sense. Maybe related to bipolar disorder mixed episodes, but I don't know. So I would say it's more impulsivity. So let's talk about it, right? So after I got into Mensa and after I started college, I started a diet and I wasn't eating a lot. And I don't know if the eating caused this, but all of a sudden I had a hormonal spike, and I mean a huge spike. And I wanted girls. I wanted a relationship. So I would, you know, try to talk to girls at the cafe, and it wouldn't work, right? Because whenever I tried to organize something with them, they would say, well, I don't know you, which sucks because it's like, how am I ever going to meet you again without a phone number? Like, I didn't say that to them to pressure them, but that's my thinking, right? Is like, because it'd be fucked up if I said, well, you should give me your number because this is the only way we're going to meet, right? If I did it in a coercive way. Because if they don't give you your number, they don't give you your number. But the thing is like, yeah, like if you approach a girl, and try talking to them at fucking like a lounge or something, then they'll either just get up and walk away. And no, it's not because I look bad. They'll just go and walk away because they have other stuff to do with their day, or they don't want to talk to you, or they'll just say, well, it's too early to do anything. And the problem is that there's like 7,000 students on campus, so you're never going to see them again anyways, right? And it could be they're just there for a special time. So that's something that sucks, right? And that's something that's hard for transfer students, because what I found at my old college was that if you if you're a transfer student, you usually make friends. I think your orientation. Usually, there's an orientation. At least with my old college, there was, and you made a lot of friends, and you stuck with them throughout the semester and years, right? So you had a pretty good chance of getting to a relationship. The reason why I didn't at my old college is I was pretty closed off at the time, and I was dealing with my own struggles and just trying to figure out college. So I wasn't ready for a relationship yet. Um, so yeah, when I transferred, I had no friends and I didn't know anybody. And for the first semester in the spring, because I transferred, I would usually just go in my class, eat at the union, don't talk to anybody, and just go to bed. Just go to bed. And to be honest, that's nobody's fault but mine, you know? It's my fault that I didn't try to socialize with anybody and try to get a date on my own. It wasn't that I was lazy, it's just I was so tired. I don't exactly know why. I think it's because I was pretty thin at the time. I was so freaking tired. So yeah. Um yeah. I was exhausted. And so that explains, that right there. I was just so freaking tired that I couldn't do anything, you know. And I didn't put in any work towards myself. I didn't really take care of myself. It's only been around now that I started taking care of myself. So this is just the beginning, right? So my mental health takes a slide because I really want girls, or I really want a relationship, and I'm trying to get a girl, and it's not working out, and reasonably so. I mean, you can't just get a girl's number by approaching them, and trying to talk with them through a lounge or something. It's just unlikely to happen, right? I tell you, the way to get girls is by having Instagram and Snapchat and having connections. That's the easiest way of getting a girl in college or high school. Guarantee it. It's through Snapchat, right? So I fucking downloaded Snapchat and Instagram, and because I hate Snapchat and Instagram. I fucking hate them to death. They're a big cause of depression. But if there was any chance that I would be able to get a relationship out of it, then I would use it. So, so sometime later, after, it didn't work out, I might be mixing up events. For example, I think I installed the dating apps before I started approaching girls in person. And just to let you know, I was never coercive around any girls. Right. Just wanted to make that clear. I know it kind of sounds like, I approached them and they were alone in a frickin' at 12 a.m. in the morning, and I was glaring at them, standing with 300 pounds of muscle about to frickin' beat them or something. No, I'm, nothing like that. So, yeah, so that didn't work out. I tried dating apps, and they sucked up a lot of my money, and it worked out in the end, and I'll tell you how. And it's not how you think. It's not what happened, but I'll tell you how it worked out. So I downloaded Tinder. I got matches. I put on my profile, if you match with me, please message me. And that's not coercive. And the reason why that's not coercive is they get to choose whether or not they match with me, right? And you can easily see my profile where it says, if you're going to match with me, then please message me. I'm sure some of the girls that matched with me didn't see it, but I'm sure a good sizable, a good portion did. And they matched with me and they never responded. So I started getting pretty mad about that, pretty pissed off about that. Like, what the hell, why match with somebody if you're not looking for anything serious? Like, I feel like Tinder is kind of an ego thing for, I think, I wouldn't say that. My perspective on girls on Tinder has changed ever since I've used Grindr. I wouldn't say it's just an ego thing for girls. I think girls can be really sweet. And I think that they could get overwhelmed. And I think they have no choice but to kind of be naturally selective, right? So when I was on Grindr, first of all, there's no way that I would, if all these men are messaging me, why would I take the bottom 20% of looks in terms of men? We're talking old 60-year-old, overweight, obese. Why would I take that when there are handsome, hairless, college-age men after me? Why would I want to take them? You know what I mean? So I never responded to them. I read their messages, though. And there were just so many people sending me shit, and it overwhelmed me. I didn't know what the hell to do. And they all kind of lived far away. And so I'm going to say that it's not easy for girls either. Having too much activity also sucks. And again, I'm sure there are girls out there that are trying to look for serious relationships, and they get quote-unquote a lot of success on like Tinder and stuff, but nothing ever materializes, and there's too much activity that it actually starts to become counterproductive. So, I mean, I can't, but definitely Tinder is an ego game to some girls. Obviously, you can tell by the way they present themselves on their profiles that it is an ego game, it is a money game, even a political game. I saw a girl that's like, don't date me if you're a Republican. I'm like, fuck you, I won't date you. I don't want you. So, Tinder didn't work out at first, right? There were quite a few men adding me, but there were a few girls, there were a few girls adding me, and almost none of them messaged me. There was a girl that was looking for friends that messaged me on Tinder, and I vented to her about my problems because she said she'd listen, and she never responded, about my mental health problems, not about dating, not about any of that. She said she would talk it out with me, and she abandoned me. So I yelled at her for it, and she said I was a clown. So, whatever the fuck. I don't care. I blocked her. So, I mean, because if you don't have to reply to, you don't have to say, well, you don't have to help somebody's mental health online, right? And I didn't say in the chats anything about dating. Like, I just said, I don't have many friends here at college, and college is really hard, and blah 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 blah, right? And it wasn't about dating. And I wouldn't have had a problem if she didn't respond, or she said, sorry, I'm not the person to help. I would not have pressed her. But the fact of the matter is that she responded, and she said, we'll talk about it. And she never responded until I confronted her, and I was quite pissed off. And then she said, you're a clown. And then I said, fuck you, and blocked her. So, whatever. So, Tinder didn't work out. I tried another app, Hickey, and that didn't work out either. Hickey is a scam. It is obviously a scam. The company says that they're trying to get rid of scammers, but it's a scam, and it's a really smart scam. So first of all, it's obviously the company that does it, because they have like exchange special photos, and these are like, inappropriate photos. And these girls will send you them all the time. They'll type really similarly, but they'll send you these photos, and they require payment. Now, why the hell would the app want to get rid of those bots? Short answer is, they wouldn't. They're the ones that are running the scam. Hickey is a scam, and it has very good reviews because most men don't realize it's a scam. The company is obviously responsible behind the scam. There's no if it were real bots or scammers, then they would send their own links for their own gain, right? Like, they would say, send money to my PayPal, or donate to my OnlyFans, or whatever. Those are all scams, right? If somebody says, go to my OnlyFans, it's basically a scam. Alright, it's, I'll get you something if you give me money, which is a scam. That's a scam, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's obviously them. It's obviously the company, because any other bots or scammers wouldn't care about the company's profits. They would just care about getting their own profits for their own scam. So, yeah, Hickey was a scam app. Somebody should sue the fuck out of them. So, then I went on Yubo, and oh my fucking god. This is around the time that I met a girl named Zuri on the bus stop. And let me tell you about Zuri, okay? So, the first time that we met, I didn't really think much about her conversations. The second time that we met, she gave me her phone number. We'll talk about Zuri soon. Yubo, I don't like at all. I do not like Yubo. So, basically, it's an app where it's like a Tinder swipe app, except it's labeled a friendship app, and people aged 13 through 17 can go on it. So, I already have a problem with an app that's designed like that, And another problem, and you can't expect somebody to be perfect, right? Another problem is that sometimes people will send you requests. Now, obviously, you have to pay Yubo and all this shit to use their features and use their app, like all the dating apps, right? Because I was looking for an adult girl to date, but through a friendship app, Yubo, because I talked to several girls on Discord that I know that are of age, and I basically told them, look, I admit, I'm kind of an incel. Sort of. I kind of am. I've gotten girls before, but I think it's fair to say that I have a problem. Right? I don't think I've never let black pill affect my relationships with women or my friendships with women. And I've always given them respect. I've always, played with them games and and things like that. But I've had a hard time getting a partner. So later we'll see how I probably broke that, that wall that I'm an incel, and I probably got more success than I thought I did. So we're like, yeah, that's super. These girls are like, yeah, that's super understandable. Now these girls are really sweet. I know them on a game on Roblox. They're all of age, like I said. They're all of age. These girls are really, really sweet, and they're like, I met my boyfriend through Yubo, so I was like, I'll give Yubo a try. That's how I went on Yubo. And some of the other girls I talked to are now my really, really good friends, and we play together games all the time. And they're taken, but we'll just get to that. But yeah, we have a blast. So these girls I talked to are really, really sweet. We'll talk at the end about how my perspective on the black pill has changed since all of this and since my college experience. So, but again, I just want to say, my black pill thinking has never made me think of women badly. It never has, right? It just makes me think, well, this is what women are primarily looking for in a guy, And the fact of the matter is that this is more of a thing where you're kind of born with a crooked nose or not born with a crooked. I'm sure there's surgeries, but there is a lot of things that determine whether you're going to get a partner or not, just based on the way you look from birth. That's all I thought is like, this is what's hot in the dating market is natural looks, our natural looks. So, that's what I've always thought. But I've never taken it further. I've never blamed anybody for it. I've never let it affect any friendships. I never really let it affect the way that I talk to women or anything like that, right? And if anything, my problems were most likely caused because of a lack of a social situation, lack of a social life, and I look pretty good. I'm going to say that again. I look above average. I know I'm above average, and I got plenty of attention on the gay dating apps. It's easier to get men, I will say that, but I definitely got a lot of attention, and that was only one of my worst looking photos. So I'm above average in looks, for sure. It's just lack of a social life and maybe autism. So now that we got that, yeah, some of those girls were really sweet. They helped me out. Yubo, I don't like. I don't support Yubo as a company because, first of all, they show where, minors, if yeah, I don't know how it works exactly, but my guess is that if you're like 25, for example, you could just look at who lives near you, and it'll tell you like where minors are, or it's really easy to, see where minors are using the near me location or whatever. It's a super dangerous app, in my opinion. And the fact that it's similar to Tinder as a swipe app doesn't help. It really doesn't. Point is, and I think they do some things. So like, the only girls that I were suggested were, the youngest I were suggested were 17 and I'm 19. And I never chatted to them inappropriately at all. I was actually very surprised when I found out that, there were girls on there that were 17. I thought it was an adult dating app, or, well, friendship app. But I certainly didn't think that there were people, 17 on there, as young as 13. So yeah, I accidentally added a few 17-year-olds. I never talked inappropriately to them, and I checked their profiles, and I think I texted one of them like, hello, are you near this area? But once I found out their age, that they were 17, I immediately terminated the chats, and I apologized. So yeah, I had no idea. Some of the people that add you on that app, they won't tell you your age until after you accept their friend request. And they'll make you want to, like, chat, before you click their profile to check their age. Like, they want you, they're like, send them a message or whatever. So I say, hey, are you near where I am. So yeah, that long story short, I didn't know that there were people that were, younger than 17 on there. I don't support them as a company. As soon as I found this out, I deleted the app. And I never engaged in any inappropriate conversations. Just some talking. They were all close in age anyways with me. They were 2 years younger than me. And I never planned to meet up with any of them. And again, terminated the chats whenever I figured it out. So that's all that is needed to be said. Is I had no idea that fucking, there are minors on this app, and there shouldn't be either, for sure. This is definitely not something that minors should have access to. Yubo might as well be a dating app. So anyways, right, so I deleted the Yubo app. I got a bit of success on there. I got a few college-age girls responding to me, but I deleted it. I fucking hated Yubo. There was a troll that contacted me and falsely accused me of being a file. I think it was a troll, pretty much. It was just like a huge troll. So I just blocked him. Like, fuck you, man. I didn't do anything wrong. Like he said he was gay, this person. He was like 20 years old. He added me on Discord. And then his friend went on and they basically accused me of being a file without any proof. So, just a troll, and I blocked him. So, Yubo, Hickey, Tinder didn't work. It drained a lot of my money. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars of my money were gone, and I didn't have anybody. Now, this is where Zuri comes in. So, around the same time that I downloaded the Yubo app, or a little bit before I downloaded the Yubo app, there was a girl on my bus named Zuri. Crap, I was near a military base. That's scary. I didn't want to be in heat. There was a girl named Zuri, and she's at my bus stop. And the second time that I'm on the bus stop with her, she exchanges numbers, and she says she's looking for friends. Now, two things are running through my mind. One is, she says she's looking for friends, but usually they're just saying that, if a girl exchanges numbers with you, it's almost a guarantee that she's interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very, very rare that happens, that a girl exchanges numbers with you, and is not interested. That's always been the old school sign that somebody's interested in dating you, is them giving your number, right? That is the hallmark. That is a very old school sign that somebody wants to date you. Very, very old school sign. So I am 100% convinced that she likes me. She's asking me where, as bus stops continue, she's asking me where I live. She's sitting next to me on the bus. She's responding to my messages and phone calls easily and quickly. Zuri did not look the best, but I was certainly willing to take her, and I was certainly willing to get into a relationship with her. So we planned out a bike ride, and which was this past weekend, and I really tried to take care of my looks for her. I shaved, and everything like that. So, and I washed my hair, and like in the mornings, usually I take showers at night. I think most people do. But basically, yeah. Basically, that's the story. So, that weekend comes around, which is this past weekend. I'm gonna tell her that I like her. She's giving me all of these incredibly great signs. I'm convinced. I talked to my mother on the phone, and she's a girl, and she's had plenty of experience dating. I told her half of the stuff that happened between me and Zuri, and she said there was a 90% chance that she liked me. 90%. This is a girl. My mom's a girl. Has had many years of experience dating on Tinder. Because for girls, remember, they just kind of get overwhelmed. My mom is getting older, so she's getting fewer, results. And she doesn't like many men anyways, because women are more selective on Tinder than men. So, yeah, 90% chance that she likes me. So Sunday comes around, and I'm about to ask her out. So she shows up. We're going to bike around the lake. She shows up, and I say, I'm going to ask you something a little later. And she said, well, can you just tell me now? Which is even a better sign. And so I'm like, would you like to get into a relationship with me? And just like November 2016, when Trump pulled a win in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, for fuck's sakes, that kind of shit, this would be like him winning New Jersey. This is how surprising. She said, I'm taken. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I didn't yell at her. I just said, all right, you're taken. It's cool. But in my mind, I'm like, are you serious? Like, you gave me your phone number. You sat next to me on the bus. You made consistent eye contact with me. You replied to all my messages and phone calls like you were interested. You asked me where I lived. And so she's like, what made you think that I wanted to get into a relationship with you? And I'm a bit shy, so I didn't label all my reasonings, and I wasn't very aggressive when I told her. I just said, you gave me your phone number, and you sat next to me. And what she was looking for were friends, because originally she told me, well, I don't have many friends, right? So I thought, first of all, if she had a boyfriend, she would have mentioned it to me, right? Second of all, that's a great sign that she's relatable to me, because I don't have many friends. But I would say Zuri is more of a success story, because even though I got rejected, we still had a great time. I didn't take it, I was pretty shaken up inside, and she was like, do you want to cancel this bike ride? As soon as she said that, and I'm like, no, you know what, let's go, let's have a great time. So we went, and we had a great time, biked around the lake with her. And so, yeah, that was great. And then, what happened was I started getting depressed later that day when it ended. Like, oh my god, my chance just blew up. I can't believe it. Zuri was taken. I would say Zuri was more of a success. And the reason why is because I almost guarantee you that she probably would have liked me if she weren't taken. And the fact of the matter is that she was really interested in being my best friend. And if anything, that kind of, that cracks the incel wall right there. That barrier. That, somebody is willing to accept you and wanting to be your friend and thinking you're a pleasant person and everything like that. We're going to talk about my perspective on the black pill just in a minute. So, wow, it's gotten dark since I've chatted. So, Zuri was kind of a success. We had a good time. So later that day, I go on Tinder, and I don't know what the fuck to do at this point. I'm out of options. This is kind of like the whole Mensa thing. Like, what the fuck do I do? I'm out of options. So, somehow this autistic girl, now keep in mind I'm also on the spectrum, adds me. She adds me on Snapchat. I have it, remember. And she comes from Tinder. And I put that I had ASD on my profile on Tinder, and she was interested because she has autism. So this girl was really strange. So she friend-zoned me, but she sent me a bunch of explicit pictures. Now, to be fair, I consented to them. I'm a guy, so of course I'm going to take them. Right? I'm also on the spectrum like her. So she showed me everything about her. You know what I'm saying? Her body parts. She showed me everything. But she friend-zoned me, and she curved me. So I was extremely confused. Like, this is not normally how things go. And she would ask me all sorts of things. Like, what do you do down there? what were your past experiences like in the bed? And I'm like, holy shit, this girl is something else, man, because she's friend zoning me, yet she's asking me all of this, which is crazy to me. Crazy to me. I mean, just, yeah, some of the most, like, personal questions she would just ask and answer, and she friend zoned me, and she sent me a bunch of photos and everything like that. I actually didn't send her any photos. Keep in mind, we're both adults. So, she curbs me. And she says, well, now I'm getting serious with this dude, so I gotta block you. And I'm like, we can't just be friends. And she's like, no. So I'm very depressed at this point. I'm very, very depressed. And, you know, I just want to honestly, like, end my life. You know, I've been curbed. The whole thing with Zuri kind of bothered me. This girl, it really bothered me. Really, really bothered me. So, the win was I was able to, you know, she must have had some interest in me. You know, I got curbed, but at least she had initial interest in me, and you know, she exchanged those photos. I don't know what that was about, but that was kind of a W. Yeah, that's I guess how Snapchat goes. um, so yeah, that happens, and then she comes back when her guy, you know, it doesn't work out with the guy. And she's like, I'm sorry, I guess you are a relatable person. I'll keep you as a friend. And I said, what's going to happen when you add a new guy, and become serious with him? And she's like, well, I'm going to have to block you again. And so I said, no, fuck you. You don't treat people like this. Like, fuck you. You don't treat people like that. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't just add them until you find somebody that's better. I mean, you don't have to get into a relationship with me, but, you know, be my friend. We can chat. And if you're just gonna curb me every single time and try and block me because you're getting serious with a guy and leaving me as basically dirt to find gold, so to speak, then I don't want to be your friend. So I said, fuck you, bitch, and I blocked her. I know, I'm pretty bold about things. Like, fuck you, you can't treat other people this way. And I don't want to hear ASD as an excuse, because I also have it, many people have it, and they realize not to act like this. Plus, she had high-functioning autism. She actually had higher functioning autism, theoretically, than me, because as part of the DSM-4, she has Asperger's syndrome. I have actual autism spectrum disorder. So I'm actually more on the spectrum than her, at least in areas affected. So I really don't want to even hear autism as an excuse. I really don't. So, yeah, that happens. So I said, you know what, I fucking had enough. So I just said, you know what, men, women, everyone, just add me. Add me on Tinder. I'm going to try to figure something out. And of course, the guys added me. And I found this one. His name is Nathan. Now, Nathan responded to me. He added me on Discord. And he was really nice. He's STEM, you know, he's very vanilla. He doesn't like the gay dating apps and how aggressive the men are. He doesn't look the best. I won't lie. He doesn't. To give you, he enjoys STEM. He wants to become a vet for pets, like veterinarian. He's kind of a nerd, you know, and so I was like, you know what? I'll give him a try. So I add him on Discord, we chat, and we get along pretty good. Here's the catch. He lives over 100 miles away. He lives 110 miles away, which is about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes from here. So I'm like, what the hell do I do? And I'm thinking, and I'm like, of all the Grindr failures that I've had where I couldn't actually connect to a guy, all the Tinder failures that I had where I couldn't get a woman, you know, with all the bus stop failures where these people are taken, honestly, I'm just glad that somebody's interested in me. And here we are, I'm in a relationship, a same-sex relationship with Nathan. So I'm no longer single. And I could say that it's been quite a blast so far. I'm planning on visiting him, and we plan on going to the park and holding hands and kissing and everything. He likes personal display of affection. Or public display of affection. Never really understood why people didn't like that. Never really understood it, you know? And so Nathan plays a lot of the Roblox games that I do. He's a gamer. And those girls, those sweet girls that I was talking about, and Nathan and a couple other friends and I are in a group chat now. And we talk to each other and we hang out with each other. And I still have Zuri. Zuri wasn't on the bus stop today because she was too tired. She didn't get enough sleep. But basically, I'm in a relationship now. It might not have been with a girl, but let me tell you something. I was definitely close. You know what I mean? I was really, really close a lot of the time. At least twice I was close, I would say. One with that Asperger's girl, and the other with that, with Zuri. I was pretty damn close to getting, the both of them. So I had some success with girls, but ultimately, at the end of the day, all I wanted was a relationship, and I got a same-sex relationship, and I'm going to take it. And I'm going to love him. And I'm going to do everything for him. So, now, for the final fourth or third of the video, I want to talk about politics. During my time at college, I joined Young Americans for Liberty. They open carry, free speech on campuses, and they want to get rid of first-year mandatory dorms. So I signed up, mostly for the free first-year mandatory dorms. I am a libertarian conservative, but I care a lot more about shit like first-year mandatory dorms, because that is just fucking bullshit. I mean, nobody should have to live in those dorms if they don't want to. To be forced to live in a dorm with 2 desks and 2 beds, living with 4 other people, is not really okay, right? If you want that, then that's good for you. If you want to do that, that's good for you. But the fact that it's forced upon you is not right. So I joined them, and I now have a t-shirt that I wear on campus that says, "Don't trust the government." And I have never shaken a man's hand harder in my life when I signed up for this, when I met them at the stands. I was like, hell yeah, brother. Liberty all the way. Fuck the ATF. So, yeah. When it comes to politics, my boyfriend is an independent. He's left-leaning, but he does not mind that I'm right-wing. And he doesn't mind if I vote for Trump. And he does think that he doesn't like Kamala Harris's economic policies. Which is great. Which is really nice. In fact, that might be him DMing me right now. So he's like center-left. And he's like, I'm glad you're right-wing because I need more right-wing people in my life. So, it's interesting. Wow, it's 5:36 and the sun's almost down in the game. Must be like winter. Or spring. So, that's what happened. Yeah. So, my last piece, the debate, Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, will decide whether I vote third party or Donald Trump. If Kamala's economic policies are way worse than I thought, I'm voting for Trump. If not, I'll vote for third party, libertarian. The final piece of information that I wanted to bring was, what do I think about the black pill? Now that I've been through college, now that I have those experiences on Tinder, etc. I still think that looks play a huge role in dating, but I'm starting to think that in real life dating, personality does too. Because I've seen quite a few not so good looking guys with reasonably good looking girls. You're not going to find like a butt ugly dude with a 10 out of 10 girl. It doesn't happen. But I find reasonably good looking girls with really, not so good looking guys. And I do think that the emotional connection is helps a lot when it comes to dating. Like having that emotional connection in real life. Really, yeah, really helps with dating. Um, wow, it's getting dark in the game again. And so, right. So, um, I feel like maybe personality accounts for more than I thought it did in dating. I would still say looks has a huge impact. When it comes to online dating, I won't change my mind. Looks are all that matters, basically, in online dating. But in real life, I'm really starting to believe that personality matters a lot more, too. And, I wanted a relationship. I preferred a relationship with a girl over a guy, but I got somebody that I can spend my time with and enjoy, and I will be driving out for him. I don't care if it's an hour and 45 minutes away. I don't care, right? I'll have time on the weekends. I can drive my dad's car. I think he'll be okay with it if I do it right. And I'm wanting to go see him, and I'm wanting to go love him. And I care for him. I care for my boyfriend. You know, um, we we get along great. So that's all I have. Thank you for listening to this very long video, but there were so many updates. See ya.